we encourage you to click on the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Voice of the People TV. Also follow us on all our social media platforms. We are at VOPTV Live. Visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Also watch us live on SLTV channel 264, VOPTV, Voice of the People Television.
This is African News on Voice of the People Television, where we don't just bring you the news, we bring you Africa's heartbeats, the policies that shapes our world, and the economy that determines our future. African News on Voice of the People Television. Stay with us.
2564 is coming up on Barney 9, right?
The 2564 Atlantic Tower.
What happens in the hush behind hangar doors? Who signs the papers that gamble with lives? Which truths were grounded before they even ever had wings? If you've ever buckled a seatbelt at 30,000 feet...
VOPTV now.
All right, good morning and welcome to Sports Republic right here, the first for this new year 2026. And yes, on behalf of the sports team on Voice of the People TV, I am saying a happy new year. Yes, it's going to be a prosperous new year. Yes, sir, for you all our viewers and of course all of us right here on Voice of the People television. And of course, yes, like I said, you're welcome. Yeah, first of the year. Well, 2025 was a fantastic sporting year, and yes, 2026 also promises to be another exciting one. Afcon is still going on, and of course, it is officially the FIFA World Cup year. 48 teams will be slugging it out in USA, Canada, and Mexico, and unfortunately, the Super Eagles of Nigeria would not be involved in that one. But well, we move on. They are doing well already in Afcon. Yes, I said earlier, so towards the end of last year, I said that if they want to be on the good books of Nigerians, they just have to win the Afcon. And they started pretty well. 9 points out of a possible 9. They top the group and they will be facing, don't worry, I will say that as the show progresses, because the round of 16 also, is already is out. The draw is out and the Super Eagles already know their opponents. And Afcon, trust me, has served up a whole lot. I am Afiz Ogubanjo, and yes, I will be going with you for the next 15 minutes or so on this incredible journey. Yes, I'll bring you the very best of sports. And just before we go on, please do well and join us. Join us. Follow us on all our social media handles. Yes, the social media platforms. Of course, on YouTube, Voice of the People Television, VOPTV Live. Of course, like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and also turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of the exciting updates from this show, Sports Republic, and also other shows right there on the platform. And of course, I spoke about Afcon, and trust me, this one it has a right to say it is up there. It is up there as one of the best ever, to be honest. And it's just the group stage that has ended. The round of 16 is serving up to be fantastic. The fixtures are out, and already Afcon is already blowing your mind. These are the results of the last round. Of course, this is a Group D fixtures. Benin Republic, they lost 3-0 to Senegal. The big boys. This is one thing I like about the Afcon. This year, the big boys set the tone. There was no time for upset. Senegal did the business against Botswana, concluded that group against Benin. Sadio Mane has been fantastic, was man of the match. Botswana, with focused performance, included that first one against Senegal in the first game. They lost 3-0 to DR Congo. Senegal and DR Congo went head-to-head in that group. Senegal just topping that group with a goal difference of +6, just one higher than DR Congo's +5. And Algeria as well, the only team aside from the Super Eagles of Nigeria to finish 100%. Yes, they won all their games, and Riyad Mahrez was fantastic. He is still one of the top scorers of the tournament so far with 3 goals. He didn't get any goal, unfortunately, in the last game, but Ibrahim Maza of Leverkusen, that is the player I want a lot of people to look out for. Emilio Nsue, yes, our top scorer from the last Afcon, yes, also got his first goal in this game for Equatorial Guinea. A good one so far. As I was speaking about Ibrahim Maza, Afcon this year has also given us that stage to look at good players that you'll be seeing lighting up the European stage really soon. And I like that about the Afcon. And yes, Group A, Morocco, we saw what they also did. They also got 9 points. I'm sorry about no. Morocco didn't get 9 points. Morocco got 7. Yes, because they won their first game, drew the second one, and won the last one. Ayoub El Kabi, of course, the man with the bicycle kicks, always scoring the bicycle kicks, and he has 2 already. Imagine a single player having 2 goals to be contenders of the goal of the tournament. That's good one. And in Group A, yes, of the last round, the results: Comoros. Yes, you have it on your screen. Drawing against the Draw Kings, Mali. Mali finished with 3 points. They drew 0-0 against Comoros. Zambia up against Morocco. Yes, ended 3-0 with Ayoub El Kabi getting 2 for himself. And Brahim Diaz, yes, the other man with 3 goals, yes, in the tournament. The second Moroccan, to get all 3 goals in all 3 games, yes, of the first the group stage of the Afcon. Yes, Ahmed Farah doing that last in 1976. Angola up against Egypt, finished 0-0. Zimbabwe losing to South Africa. South Africa also fantastic. I know they lost to Egypt, but they got their winning boots back on. And Laia Foster also scoring the second goal, as well as Oswin Apolis, who for me is going to be one of the best players at this Afcon. And Tanzania, yes, up against Tunisia. Tunisia were supposed to light up Group C with the Super Eagles of Nigeria. But Super Eagles of Nigeria, yes, we saw what they did to the Carthage Eagles of Tunisia. 3-2, they won that game. It was a comfortable 3-0 lead, but Tunisia has clawed back, but unfortunately could not get that precious point or even all 3 points. And Super Eagles defeating Uganda. Even with the fringe players, they still went on to defeat the Cranes of Uganda. But one question still lingers: why do the Super Eagles concede? With the defense is solid, to be honest. Igor Ogu stepped in for Semi Ajayi and gave in a fantastic performance alongside Kavi Bassi, who also went on later. People are saying Chidozie Awaziem should not get anywhere near this team, because as soon as he stepped foot into that pitch, it was shaky all through, and the goal unfortunately came in while it was on the pitch. But Kevin Bassi and Semi Ajayi going forward for Nigeria's games, they should be yes, the defensive pairing. And yes, this is Group C, of course. Yes, I'm talking about the standings now, the final standings. This is Group C, concerns us the Super Eagles of Nigeria. 3 games played, 3 games won, no draw, no loss, but a goal difference of +4. Because they scored 8 goals and conceded 4. Yes, so it goes difference of +4, but finishing with 9 points. And Tunisia, yes, with 3 games played, a draw, a win, and a loss, and they finished second with 4 points. Tanzania, yes, Tanzania surprised me. 2 points, and they're in the knockout stages of the Afcon. They finished with 2 points, but they are one of the best third place sides. Yes, we are finishing with a goal difference of -1, while Uganda unfortunately have to go home. And let's look at the other groups as well, because in Group A, Morocco finished top of that group. Mali, yes, also qualified, and yeah, in Group B as well, we also saw results from the group right there. The round of 16 is set. Yes, Morocco, of course, you have on your screen right there. Morocco, yes, topping the group with 7 points. They drew with Mali. Actually, that's where the one draw that you are seeing on your screen, that's where it came from. They drew Mali. Mali, they are the draw kings. They didn't win any game. They didn't lose at all, but they drew all 3 games. And the Lassine Sinayoko getting 2 of their goals. In fact, their 2 goals scored so far has been scored by Lassine Sinayoko, the Auxerre man, and they have 3 points right there. And Comoros finishing with 2 points, unfortunately, with a lower goals difference than Tanzania of the that belong to the group of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And Zambia, yes, also with -3 goals difference, they couldn't make it to the knockout stages. In Group B, Group B was actually very, very interesting. Egypt also, yes, finishing with 7 points. That's Omar Mamouche on the screen. I'm surprised it's not Mohamed Salah, but Omar Mamouche has also been fantastic for Egypt. And yes, Mohamed Salah also doing the business. They won their game. Yes, one of the 2 games they won was against South Africa, and that was South Africa's only loss. That game, South Africans, trust me, they are still not happy about it. They are still saying, hey, if maybe when the Afcon ends, they are going to play back, that's foul. I would call it a foul for me, because when I saw it back, I'm like, no. Koliso Mudau did not poke Mohamed Salah in the eye, but it was given as a penalty. Salah stepped up and it dispatched that one. And South Africa, trust me, they came back when Egypt got a red, and they came out firing, but of course, they could not get that win or that draw ultimately, but it was a good one. It was a good game between Egypt and South Africa, but South Africa finished second in that group. And in third place was Angola, yes, who also finished second. And we finished third with 2 points, -1, yes, with Tanzania, but Angola could not make it. It was supposed to even be a Nigeria-Angola game because it was projected to be Nigeria up against Angola, but now it didn't finish that way. Angola are now out of the tournament, while Zimbabwe also are also out of the tournament. And yes, we saw Group C. Yes, that was the first group we said yes, for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And in Group E, this is Algeria. Let's go to Group E. Let's go to Group E. You know, with Algeria, they finished perfect, all 9 points from the possible 9. Played 3 games, won 3 games, with a goals difference of +6. Look at Riyad Mahrez right there. Yes, they have a goals difference of +6. Burkina Faso, of course, played 3 games. Yeah, Burkina Faso with 3 games played, 2 games won. Yes, but no draw, but a loss, of course, and that was to the perfect men, Algeria, and of course a goals difference of +2, while they finished with 6 points. And Sudan, yes, 3 games played, 1 game won, and 2 games lost. They finished with 3 points, and trust me, Sudan are in the round of 16. Equatorial Guinea, unfortunately, they are going home. Yes, 3 games played, no win, no draw, but they lost all 3 games with a -4 goals difference. And yes, let's go back to Group D, which was very interesting. Senegal, of course, yes, this was a very, very tight group. Trust me, and we are still going to the tighter group, but yes, this was a tight group. Senegal and DR Congo. Yes, Senegal, 3 games played, 2 games won, a draw and a loss, but a goal difference of +6. A goal difference of +6, yes, ensured the Teranga Lions finished top of that group. While Democratic Republic of Congo, yes, this team, Nigerians are looking at this team squarely. And trust me, I'm going to explain how the draw is going to go. We might potentially face this team, maybe in the quarterfinals of the Afcon. I will tell you all about that one. DR Congo, yes, 3 games played, 2 games won, and they drew with the Teranga Lions, of course, and yes, finishing with 4 points. I mean, with 7 points, but with a +4. That's inferior goals difference to the Teranga Lions. That's talking about DR Congo. While Benin Republic, yes, they won 1 out of their 3 games, but they lost 2. And unfortunately, with a -3 goals difference, they finished with 3 points. But Benin, trust me, they are still in the tournament. While Botswana, yes, with focused, fantastic performance, they couldn't win any of the games. They were the whipping boys of the group, and they lost all 3 games with -7 goals difference right there for Botswana. And let's move on to Group F. Right now, yes, this was a very, very, very tough group. That's the man, Evan Gesson. Of course, he plays for Aston Villa in the Premier League, and he did really well. He did really well for Ivory Coast. This group right here, there's a lot to talk about. Cote d'Ivoire, yes, they topped that group. At some point, they were second. At some point, they were even third in the group right there. That's talking about Cote d'Ivoire, the defending champions. 3 games played, 2 games won, 1 draw. And that was against second in the group, Cameroon. And they finished with the same goals difference, but Cote d'Ivoire with more goals scored. This group was just fantastic. Gabon, ultimately, for me, they are the disappointment of the whole Afcon. Given their World Cup qualifiers, they played exceptionally well. They finished below Cote d'Ivoire, and that was the only game they lost in that group, denying them the automatic World Cup tickets. Then they went on to face Nigeria in the playoff, and they lost scandalously. For me, Gabon, since that game against Super Eagles, they've not recovered. This Afcon was very, very bad for them. The likes of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who potentially is playing his last Afcon, and he just did that because they are out. The likes of Denis Bouanga, who did well in the MLS, Mario Lemina, who is a teammate to Nigeria's Super Eagles striker, that's Victor James Osimhen. Yes, they both played together at Galatasaray, but Mario Lemina could not, inspire his team. They were leading in that last game with against Cote d'Ivoire 2-0, but a remontada happened. Evan Gesson leading them with the likes of Wilfred Zaha, Jean-Philippe Crasso. They did really well. That's talking about the defending champions, and they came back to win 3-2. Cameroon, yes, also in the other game, played against Mozambique. Mozambique were also leading, but Cameroon came back, and you need to see that goal from Bayer Leverkusen's Christian Kofani. He scored a goal that was ruled out, but he came back to score a belter. You could not deny that one. That's talking about Christian Kofani of Cameroon. And Cameroon, trust me, a lot of people said going into this tournament, they played, what we call on the streets, Aram football. But they were fantastic. Trust me. the way they defend. Now, people are saying if FIFA should rule against the DRC, for this player fraud and all of that, the story that came out late last year saying Nigeria still has hope of qualifying for the World Cup, we might potentially see a fixture between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon. It is going to be tough because if you see the way the Cameroons play, trust me, that's where you will see like all attack against all defense. And on the counter, they can eat you hard. That's talking about the Cameroonians. And they have Manchester United's Brian Mbeumo, who has been fantastic. Manchester United, of course, they do miss him right now. That's talking about Brian Mbeumo, and he has been wonderful this Afcon so far. He is in the same group with another Manchester United player. That's talking about Amad Diallo, who has also been fantastic for Cote d'Ivoire. 2 goals in 2 games, and he has done really, really well for himself right there. Group F, yes, a lot of people predicted it to be tough. Mozambique also, they were less fancied. People thought they would finish bottom of the group, but trust me, they are third. And yes, I mentioned that Nigeria will be playing a team in the round of 16. It is going to be Mozambique because the round of 16 draw, it is out. And of course, Mali, they know who they are going to be playing. Benin will also be playing Egypt, and Nigeria will be playing Mozambique. Let's look at the draws, the round of 16 draws, the team, the bracket, how it is going to be for the Afcon, because the Super Eagles of Nigeria, yes, will be up against Mozambique, and that's it. Mali will be playing against Tunisia. Senegal will be up against Sudan. Egypt will be playing against Benin Republic. You have it on your screen right there. And the defending champions will be playing Burkina Faso. And yes, that is on one side of the bracket. Algeria will be playing the Congo DR. Yes, that one is going to be tough, trust me, because DRC, they've done really well for themselves so far. And they will be playing a team who finished the group stage perfectly. 9 points from 9. And they did really well. Algeria, yes, not the Atlas Lions this time. The Desert Foxes, of course, of Algeria. And the Super Eagles of Nigeria will be playing against Mozambique, who have a dangerous player. That's one thing I love about this Afcon so far. There is a dangerous player in every team. And for Mozambique, yes, maybe when the preview starts, when Kizike comes on to give us the preview, the boys from the locker room come on to give us the preview, they will mention Jenny Katamo. He plays for Sporting Lisbon right there in Portugal. Yes, Sporting CP as people call it. Yes, he plays for them. Jenny Katamo, fantastic. And they also have the oldest player at the Afcon, that's talking about Elias Gaspar Pelembe. He is there also playing for Mozambique, and they are going to prove tough opponents for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. They also have Sunderland's led back Reinildo Mandava. Yes, he used to play for Atletico Madrid. He's also there for Mozambique. But the Super Eagles, come on, trust me, with the likes of Alex Iwobi, Ademola Lookman, Mr. Afcon himself, and you don't want to forget him. Victor Osimhen is always a threat. It is going to be a tough one right there when they meet in Fez. And South Africa will be playing Cameroon, another tough fixture for the round of 16. Afcon is really serving up to be a fantastic tournament. Morocco, the host, will be playing against Tanzania. Now let me explain. The winner from Mali against Tunisia will go on to face the winner between Senegal and Sudan. So we could see Tunisia potentially playing Senegal for the quarterfinals. Egypt against Benin Republic, the winner right there will be playing the winner of that game between Ivory Coast and Burkina Faso. So we can see Egypt up against Ivory Coast potentially in the quarterfinals. And also the winner between Algeria and Congo DR will play the winner between Nigeria and Mozambique. It gets tougher for the Super Eagles right here, because should they negotiate Mozambique, they will be playing either Algeria or Congo DR. I mentioned earlier that Congo DR and Nigeria might meet again, and you know how that one is going to go down, because that is the team that denied Nigeria a World Cup place. Ultimately, yes, because they're also not sure yet, because they will be playing the intercontinental playoffs, but they are there. At least they have that chance, that hope of being the 10th African team to be there at the Mundial right there in USA, Canada, and Mexico. And South Africa, the winner against between South Africa and Cameroon will be up against the winner between the host Morocco and Tanzania. Also gets tougher from their games that you should be seeing in the semi-final or the final. We will be seeing that at the quarterfinal. I like this one. It's given everything you need to know, because the semi-final draw is also made, and also the final draw. So Nigeria would not be meeting the likes of Senegal, Tunisia, Egypt, and Ivory Coast up until the semi-final, or in fact, up to the final. Yes, because that is the way the draw is. So Nigeria, they have to negotiate the likes of Algeria, Congo DR, Mozambique, South Africa, Cameroon, Morocco, and Tanzania. If they meet Tanzania again, that would be lovely for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, but it gets tougher from there. Afcon generally has been fantastic. We've seen goals, we've seen goalkeeper drama, we've seen penalty saves, we've seen VAR drama. We've seen a lot from Afcon this year, trust me. And like I said earlier in my intro, I think this is going to be one of the best African Cup of Nations tournaments in the history, because I know Afcon has gone way back, but this one, I mean, from 2023, it was also fantastic, and this one, trust me, it is going to be a very, very good one. The top scorers, yes, we have the likes of Riyad Mahrez with 3 goals, Ayoub El Kabi of Morocco with 3 goals, and also Brahim Diaz, and a lot of players are on 2 goals. Lassine Sinayoko of Mali with 2 goals, Amad Diallo with 2 goals, Nicholas Jackson with 2 goals, Ademola Lookman of the Super Eagles of Nigeria with 2 goals, Rafael Onyedika, yes, also with 2 goals. Victor Osimhen has a goal, but he's definitely going to score more, and there are also other players as well with 2 goals, the likes of Ibrahim Maza of Algeria as well with 2 goals, and good one Afcon so far. Away from that, let's move on to the Premier League. Yes, because we saw fixtures on Tuesday, yes, where the table toppers Arsenal, they dispatched one of their title rivals, yes, Aston Villa, yes, with Unai Emery as their coach. 4-1 at the Emirates it ended. Yes, Kizike told us all about that one yesterday. Arsenal have just been fantastic, and yes, fixtures continue today. Yes, New Year fixtures. Of course, we have the likes of Manchester City. Yes, they will be looking to close the gap back, yes, to 2 points on the table toppers Arsenal. But first, Crystal Palace will be playing Fulham right there at Selhurst Park. Yes, Liverpool up against Leeds. Liverpool also will be looking to bounce back, and Brentford, yes, will be up against Spurs. This one, you will be seeing Spurs manager, that's talking about Thomas Frank, returning to his old stomping ground, Brentford. Yes, his former Brentford manager, and he will be going back, yes, to the G-Tech tonight as they face Brentford. It's Brentford up against Tottenham, while Sunderland up against Manchester City, a team that hasn't lost at home. Sunderland, they've been fantastic, newly promoted side, but they've done really well for themselves. The likes of Granit Xhaka, the likes of Brian Brobby, Wilson Isidore, and they've lost players to the Afcon. You know, the likes of Renido Mandava is playing for Mozambique, the likes of Noah Sadiki playing for the DRC, Atom Asuaku also for DRC, but they've got good players, trust me, the likes of Mukiele. Their goalkeeper Robin Roofs has also been fantastic so far in the Premier League this season. Yes, this was just before Arsenal's game. The table as it stands right now will be having 45 points because they defeated Aston Villa, and they will be leading Manchester City with 5 points. City are on 40 pending their game tonight up against Sunderland. Aston Villa, yes, still on 39, yes, but their goals difference will be minus 13 because they conceded 4 goals, but they scored 1, so you will add 3 to that one. Oh, it will be 7. It will be 7, yes, trust me, it will be plus 7 because they are currently on 10 before that game, but they conceded 4 goals, yes, but they scored 1, so they will have a goal difference of 7. Liverpool are in 4th place right there before their game tonight up against Leeds at Anfield. Chelsea as well, they drew to Bournemouth, yes, so they are on 30 points as they start. Manchester United also drawing to Wolves, that was a bad result, also still on 30 points, while Sunderland, yes, 28 points. Brentford, Crystal Palace, Fulham, the teams that will be playing tonight, Spurs as well, Everton, of course, they are on 28 points. Everton should have moved up by now, yes, just before the Brentford game because they defeated Nottingham Forest. Brighton as well, they couldn't get a win, they drew up against West Ham. Newcastle got a win, so they will be away from that 14th position, while Bournemouth also they got that important point for them up against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Leeds will be playing Liverpool. Nottingham Forest still stuck with 18 points because they lost to Everton at home. West Ham, yes, should be on 14 points right now because they drew that game up against Brighton, while Burnley lost to Newcastle at home, and they are still in 19th place, while Wolves, they've gotten their 3rd point of the season, and trust me, one of those points is at Old Trafford against Manchester United. What a shame for Manchester United. And let's move on away from the Premier League. Yes, let's talk about the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Yes, in December, yes, they finished 2025 38th, yes, in the world in the new FIFA rankings. and they are 5th in Africa, and they've begun the year without one. While the Super Eagles of Nigeria, yes, they retained their 38th position in the latest FIFA Men's World Ranking. Yes, it was released in December 22nd, yes, last year, 2025. With no competitive matches played since the previous ranking, the team maintained their November points tally of 1,502. While globally, yes, Spain, with the likes of Lamine Yamal, the likes of Fabian Ruiz and Nico Williams and all of that, yes, they are leading the rankings. They are number 1 in the world. They reclaimed the top spot from Argentina in September, and they are still beginning 2026 with that one, while France completes the podium in 3rd place. Trust me, these are the teams that will be the favorites for, the World Cup when it starts this year, when it starts in June. While Nigeria is currently 5th among African nations behind Morocco, Senegal, Egypt, and Algeria. Morocco remains Africa's highest ranked team, sitting 11th in the world, while Senegal occupies the 19th spot globally, while other African teams in the top 10 continentally include Tunisia, who are 41st, Cote d'Ivoire, Mali, DRC, and Cameroon. And the December edition, yes, the last of last year, 2025, follows 42 international fixtures, with the FIFA Arab Cup Qatar 2025 taking center stage, and Morocco ultimately won that one. And their victory at the tournament brought them close to breaking into the top 10 for the first time since April 1998, trailing Croatia by just 0.54 points. And the standout performers of 2025 include the likes of Kosovo, yes, who climbed 19 places to 80th after an impressive year, recording 7 wins and 2 draws, yes, in 10 matches. While Norway, yes, finished 29th. Suriname, yes, finished 123rd. While they also made significant progress because Norway, yes, they qualified for the World Cup, of course, with the likes of Erling Haaland and Suriname, they are in the intercontinental playoffs, while the likes of Jordan, who qualified for the World Cup, Vietnam, yes, also did well. Singapore, they also did really well for themselves, and they recorded largest upward movements in December. Nigeria's retention of this global ranking reflects stability, but underscores the need to improve the team's standing, yes, during this ongoing Afcon, because trust me, their performances at the Afcon will surely improve their world rankings. Should they win that Afcon, trust me, we could see Nigeria in the top 20 in the world, and that would be good, for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Good for Nigerian football that has been suffering a lot of bashing since last year, and we are hoping this new year there will be changes. There has to be drastic changes. We don't want this Afcon, victory in the group stage to be a paper over cracks. We want to see permanent improvements. Permanent improvements is what we need at this point. We need to start seeing changes. No owing of bonuses, match payments, match call training bonuses, this and that and the other. We don't want to see that this year, because ultimately, like I said, it is a World Cup year. Nigeria will be part of that, but we have Afcon, we have other competitions. I'm calling on sports, Nigerian sports generally. We want to see a better 2026. 2025, for me, when it comes to the times of the management, it was really poor. But for sporting activities, it was good. It was good. Though, ultimately, the World Cup qualification, the World Cup ticket, we didn't get that one. But for other sports, it was fantastic. Good one for Nigeria. But we want to see a better 2026. We'll be taking a short break now, yes, on the show Sports Republic. When we are back, we'll be giving you more sports stories. Stick around and don't go nowhere.
In a world where power shifts with every headlines, news breaks and events happens, we bring you unbiased and explicit information on politics, economy, and state of the nation. We break down the chaos. Facts, not fluff. Truth, not spin. We discuss not just politics, but a glimpse into the future. Voice of the People Television. Now you have more than a voice.
Right, you're welcome back, and it's still the show Sports Republic, of course, on Voice of People TV. And yes, we've spoken about the Afcon, we've given you a lot of stories, and let's move on because this year, 2026, is going to be exciting for the sporting world and also right here at home in Nigeria, because Nigeria is gearing up for a very historic 2026, hopefully, with a packed sporting calendar that is sure to thrill fans. The year kicks off with the ongoing Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco, where the Super Eagles aim to reclaim the continental crown that they last won in 2013. Yes, they will be hoping to reclaim that one under Eric Sekuchel's guidance. Well, they've gotten up to a good start. 9 points from a possible 9 in the group stages. They will be going on to face Mozambique. That one is going to be tough. And speaking of Mozambique, there's this woman. Yes, I remember her just now, Maria Mutola. Yes, an athlete. She was fantastic on the track, and yes, she led the way for a lot of the likes of the Ethiopians, the Kenyans we are enjoying now. Even though the likes of Eli Gebrselassie, they set the way also for the men, but for women, Maria Mutola, yes, fantastic, and she is an icon, of course, and she's doing well. She did well for herself, and of course, the Mozambique players will also want to keep her by the side when they face the Super Eagles of Nigeria at Afcon. And I mentioned the likes of Jenny Katamo, the likes of Renido Mandava. They will pose a threat for the Super Eagles. But yes, just as we say in this part of the world, no shaking. The Super Eagles will be ready for that test. Of course, yes, this will be followed by the Winter Olympics in Italy, marking Nigeria's continued push into winter sports. I'll be here. I will be looking to see what the Super Eagles, not the Super Eagles, sorry, this time around, the Nigerian sports, Team Nigeria, I'll be looking to see what they do when it comes to the Winter Olympics. And February also sees Nigeria in action at the Africa Badminton Championship in Botswana, where Okpeyeri Anoluwapo, yes, she will be eyeing a 5th consecutive title. And the Women's African Cup of Nations, the WAFCON, yes, is also going to be happening in Morocco. It is on the horizon, with Nigeria defending their championship title. We'll be hoping to make this 11, the 11th WAFCON title, because we won the La Decima up against Morocco, yes, last time out. Coming back from a 2-0 deficit to win that game 3-2. Esther Okoronko, fantastic performance. Rashida Ajibade, also fantastic performance. And other key events include the World Athletics Indoor Championships in Poland and the World Table Tennis Championships in England. And of course, speaking of the World Table Tennis Championship, we did well at the Africa Table Tennis Championships, and I'll be looking to see the likes of Aaron Okodri, back in action for tennis, Nigerian tennis, and of course, Omar Assar of Egypt as well. Yes, that rivalry always going on in Africa. And Nigeria's athletic prowess will be on full display at the World Athletic Relay in Botswana and the African Athletics Championship in Ghana. And the Commonwealth Games, yes, in Scotland, offer another opportunity for Nigerian athletes to shine, particularly in athletics, boxing, and weightlifting. And yes, speaking about the Commonwealth Games, Nigeria placed a bid, to host the Commonwealth Games in 2030. Yes, we are still seeing how that will look like, because the initial bid was knocked off because India are, they are beating Nigeria to that one. But let's see how it pans out. And I also spoke earlier about the World Athletics Relay in Botswana. Botswana right now, this is the second, what I've been reading now so far, this is the second tournament they will be hosting this year. What is going on with Nigeria? Why can't we have a big sporting event to be hosted in Nigeria? I'm still always relating to the Under-17 World Cup in 2009, where we produced a lot of players right here in Nigeria. A lot of players showcase their talents, from other countries, but they did that here in Nigeria. Why can't we see others? Why can't we see big, sporting tournaments being held here in Nigeria? World, not even Africa alone, world. Because this is the World Athletics Relay in Botswana. Much respect to Botswana, but we know what the Nigerians can do. And yes, I'm using this medium again to call on the NSC, National Sports Commission. Let us do something. Even if it's not in 2026, let us just show that we can do something. And yes, we also have the World Athletics Under-20 Championships in the USA, and it will be looking to showcase the country's rising young stars. And the National Sports Festival, yes, in Enugu, promises to be a highlight, of course, for Nigerian sports, serving as a platform for talent identification and development. And Nigeria's basketball team, the D Tigers, will be in action at the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup, of course, in Germany, hoping to cement their status as Africa's top team. Yes, African basketball, trust me, just give it to the Tigers. They are the best in Africa. Unfortunately, you can't say the same for the Tigers, but yes, the Tigers, yes, they will be looking to go on at the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup, yes, in Germany, and the World Athletics Ultimate Championship in Hungary, yes, of course, with various FIFA Youth tournaments also. They round out the calendar. All right, let's move on to tennis. Yes, this one is a big question because who is going to challenge the likes of Yannick Sinner and Alcaraz, of course, Carlos Alcaraz in 2026, because the dominance of Yannick Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz in men's tennis is showing no signs of slowing down, with the pair sweeping the past 8 Grand Slams and dominating the ATP Tour. So who is next to challenge their reign? Yes, Carlos Alcaraz and Yannick Sinner, they are just bringing back this old Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal feeling. I mean, of course, Carlos Alcaraz is Spanish and he plays like the clay king himself, Rafael Nadal, while Yannick Sinner, he has this finesse to it and it reminds you of FedExpress himself, Roger Federer. Yes, like I said, who is next to challenge their reign right here in 2026? And according to coach Patrick Mouratoglou, that's coach of 23-time major singles champion Serena Williams, it is tough to predict given the margin between Sinner and Alcaraz and the rest of the field. And yes, VOPTV Sports identified 5 players who could potentially disrupt the Sin Caras duopoly. Yes, Sin Caras, that's talking about Sinner and Alcaraz, the Sin Caras duopoly in 2026. One of the players should be Ben Shelton, who has done really well for himself and with his powerful serve and confident attitude. He is one to watch, and the 23-year-old American has already reached 2 Grand Slam semi-finals and has the best firepower. Yes, he has fantastic. He's a good server of the ball. That's talking about Ben Shelton, and he has the firepower to take on the best. Taylor Fritz is also another name with his aggressive playing style and improving game. He's also another contender. He won 2 titles in 2025. Jack Draper, who is British #1, yes, alongside Emma Raducanu on the female side. He has also shown flashes of brilliance, beating the likes of Sinner and Alcaraz over 3 sets. Of course, he has defeated them this year, and his left-handed serve and forehand make him a formidable opponent, and is capable of pulling off an upset. Another name is Felix Auger-Aliassime, with his maturing game and powerful strokes. He's also a threat, having surged into the top 5 after reaching the US Open semi-finals. And of course, one man who is still playing. He's a legend already. This man is a legend. Look at him on your screen. He is a legend already. He has nothing more to prove. 38-year-old Novak Djokovic, he remains a force to be reckoned with. And of course, despite his age, and he's still winning titles, and he is the most likely to disrupt Sinner and Alcaraz's dominance, although they have beaten him a lot in recent times. So, and also he has retired in games. I think the age is beginning to tell on Novak Djokovic. However, the question remains whether he can beat them over 5 sets. Of course, that's the main question right there, because maybe like 2 sets he can do that. Exhibition he can do that, but when it comes to tournaments, trust me, Alcaraz is only 22, Sinner is 23. These guys are coming. They don't have that joy. They are young. They are vibrant. It's like young Roger Federer right there in Wimbledon in 2003. He was just 19. He cooked the likes of Pete Sampras, the likes of Andre Agassi. Trust me, that they already past their prime. So this one, Novak Djokovic, I know you still have it in you, but the likes of Sinner and Alcaraz, Ben Shelton, Auger-Aliassime, nah, I don't think he can go against those guys anymore, because we saw that for the likes of Germain Monfils. Germain Monfils is a fantastic player. He gives the vibes. He is strong. He's a good server, but he's old. The age told on him at the last tournament he played. He's 38 and he couldn't go against the young men. But the likes of Sasha Zverev, of course, Alexander Zverev, yes, Joao Fonseca and Jakub Mensik are also emerging, but they are still some way off of challenging the top 2. And the battle for supremacy in men's tennis is eating up. And 2026, yes, promises to be an exciting year. Will Sinner and Alcaraz continue to dominate, or will a new challenger emerge? Out of those names, for me, I think maybe Ben Shelton, because Ben Shelton, trust me, he is very, very good on the court. Auger-Aliassime is another one, but Dominic Thiem is also there. He's looking to make a comeback. Grigor Dimitrov also looking to make a comeback. These are guys I feel that could challenge. Maybe Shapovalov also. can also come back to also mount a challenge. But trust me, Sina and Alcaraz, they are showing no signs of slowing down. And 2025 was a big year for them. Only time will tell. We hope to see what 2026 is going to give us for men's tennis. And let's move on to the NBA, where I spoke about Djokovic, who is 38, right? LeBron James celebrated his 41st birthday, but it was spoiled. It was ruined by the Detroit Pistons, who defeated the LA Lakers, the Los Angeles Lakers, 128-106. And Kate Cunningham led the Pistons with 27 points, while Luka Doncic scored 30 points and 11 assists for the Lakers. And the NBA's all-time leading scorer, yes, that's talking about LeBron James. He added 17 points to his tally, but they could not take down the Detroit Pistons. And the Lakers, who have won 20 out of their 31 games this season, they sit 5th in the Western Conference after losing 4 of their past 5 games. And James has now played 8,577 career games, second only to Robert Parrish, 1,611, and is contesting his record 23rd NBA season. Well, in other action, we saw the likes of the Philadelphia 76ers. They came from behind to defeat the Memphis Grizzlies 139-136, thanks to VJ Edgecombe's clutch three-pointer with 1.7 seconds left in overtime. And Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid led the 76ers with 34 points apiece, while Ja Morant scored 40 points for the Grizzlies. And here's the LA Clippers, the Los Angeles Clippers and Boston Celtics also secured wins, with the Clippers dominating the Sacramento Kings 131-90, and the Celtics defeating the Utah Jazz 129-119. Good one, NBA, and also for LeBron James. And the OKC, the Oklahoma City Thunder, they are still leading the way. It's been a fantastic time on the show, and let's wrap up with this one. 2026 is going to be an exciting year, but 2025 gave us a lot of sporting moments. I mean, happy times, not so happy times, and yeah, we are going to, just give a roundup of everything that happened in 2025. Yeah, I just spoke about the NBA. We saw the likes of the Oklahoma City Thunder. They did really well. They are the champions. They are the defending champions. They won the NBA Finals, and of course, they have the MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. But there are other moments in 2025, yes, and we will be looking to review them all together, yes, as they appear on our screen right there. We saw the likes of Otani in baseball. We saw the likes, look at Lando Norris, of course. Let's start with Lando Norris. Of course, he won, the Formula One. He is the champion. He's the first-time champion. 2 points. He defeated Max Verstappen. But trust me, for me, the best driver of the year is not even Lando Norris. It is Max Verstappen. He took it all, but it was just so late. He couldn't defeat, the man himself. That's talking about Lando Norris. Good one for Lando Norris as well. It was tight right there, but ultimately, he's going into 2026 as the man to beat. And yes, I spoke about the OKC, the champions of the NBA Finals. They are the defending champions right there of the NBA, and that's the man in the middle himself, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the likes of Jalen Green as well, and Chet Holmgren also doing well for themselves right there for the NBA champions. Yeah, there are other moments. Yes, let's keep going. That's the OKC. They did really well last year, and they've also started well this year. They started well this year, and they are looking to beat the record of the Golden State Warriors with the likes of Steph Curry. And yes, that's Chet Holmgren also with the likes of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Jalen Williams, yes, also there. And yes, like I said, the man himself, Verstappen, the Mad Max, of course, also did well for himself. Ultimately, he couldn't win, but he gave us a fantastic finale to the Formula One season, and also is looking to also reclaim his crown back. And yes, speaking of Achraf Hakimi, yes, Morocco's captain, he is there. He's the current African Footballer of the Year, the Paris Saint-Germain right back. Of course, after a fantastic season with PSG, he did really well, and yes, he's been rewarded as the Men's Player of the Year. A lot of people say Mohamed Salah. A lot of people say it should have been Victor Osimhen, but trust me, you can't take anything away from Achraf Hakimi. And on the world stage, this is the Ballon d'Or winner. 2025 was a year for Moussa Dembele. Yes, it was just perfect. It was perfect. PSG, for me, best player of 2025. Trust me. I know the likes of Lamine Yamal, Rafinha, you have your arguments, but Moussa Dembele, Ousmane Dembele. Yeah, yes, I'm already having this. I don't want to make a mistake. And yes, on a rather sad note, Diogo Jota, yes, tragically lost his life, last year, 2025. Yes, 29-year-old. Of course, he died in a car crash with his brother right there, Andre Silva, and that's a man you don't want to take it away from him. Liverpool's clutch player. Whenever he's on the pitch, trust me, there will be goals. And yes, Diogo Jota, I'm taking this time out, to say rest in peace, yes, to him and his brother Andre Silva. Also, football also lost a young man who was stabbed in England. That's talking about Ethan McLeod of Macclesfield. Of course, rest in peace to him. But Diogo Jota, he will be sorely missed. Of course, Ruben Neves, who plays for Al Hilal, always giving him his respect. That was his best friend. But of course, how life can be. It gives and it takes. And yes, Diogo Jota, we want to say rest in peace. Of course, we have to leave on the show. There are other sporting moments, a lot of sporting moments. Let's see if my producer will permit me to give us more, that will give us on the screen so we can talk about them. It was just a wonderful year, 2025. And of course, we hope to see 2026 also deliver more and more sporting moments. It is the World Cup year. And in June, trust me, players will gather together. 48 teams, of course, in USA, Canada, and Mexico. Unfortunately, we won't be seeing the Super Eagles, but we will be seeing this was that's talking about the Falcons. They will be looking to make it 11 titles when the Afcon starts. Yes, this year. You see the likes of Rasheedat Ajibade, see the likes of Michelle Alozie, Ashley Plumcher, Asisa Doshuala, Esther Okoronkwo. I mean, it's going to be a good year for the Falcons, and of course we have the Bayana, yes, also qualifying for the WAFCON. Yes, we'll be wrapping up, yes, on the show today. This is what we call it a day on the show this morning. Of course, it's been a fantastic 2025, and of course we hope to see a wonderful, more exciting 2026. It has been Sports Republic. I'm Afidu Gubanjo, and I'm saying Happy New Year once again, and let's have a wonderful day today. Bye for now.
VOP TV. Now, you have more than a voice. Are you ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV. Now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We break in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what